type that'll scream back. I don't know what you think this is, but I ain't got a problem with that. I give it to you real straight up. I give it to you blunt uncut. I know that I'm gonna get in trouble. You know it is what it is with me. Know what you came to see. You want it raw and you want it G. If you get it, you know what's up. I gotta tell the truth 'cause I don't give. I'm gonna get in trouble. You know I give it to you blunt from the ATL. You know how we stand. It is what it is. Lab it up, bring it so uncut. And when you leave, you saying that's what's up. Get in trouble tonight.
What's poppin', people? It's another episode of the Human Trash Podcast. So, people who've never watched before don't know what the podcast is about. The podcast is simply about humans and how they trash. And what I mean by when I say we're trash is because we're hypocrites. And the problem with being a hypocrite is the fact that we're all hypocrites. But the problem isn't just that. The problem is that we won't own up to it. Being a hypocrite is not a problem because I think that is just human. The problem is when you don't own it, but you won't even acknowledge it. And that's where we start to, I think, have problems as we interact with other humans. So this episode, we're going to talk about something that I have noticed time and time again with social media and just in society, period. And it's shaming. We seem to have no shame anymore.
See, it sounds like this when I think about the ancestors.
People will do and say stuff with total disregard for how it makes them look.
Dougie, watch my Dougie. Dougie, watch my Dougie.
I mean, they will say anything.
I know that it's not like normal for somebody to say they enjoy being in prison or jail, but I enjoyed it. I milked it for all it was worth. I was only supposed to do a year and a half, but I ended up doing a whole 3 years, and I was getting down silly by the finest. Like, oh my!
I was watching a video, and I saw a dude talking about how he slept with his mama and his girlfriend at the same time. It's like, is that something that you talk about in public? Like, why would you say that? Why would you put that out there in the universe? And I get it. He might have done it. As horrible as that sounds, he might have done it. But why are we not in a day and time where you just can't do that no more? Or you wouldn't say that. You would never talk about that in public. But now it seems that people have no problems with airing the dirtiest of the dirtiest of their laundry. They talk about anything. Just you talk about all the deepest, darkest things. And then this is the problem. You talk about these things on platforms like social media as if these people care about you. Don't get me wrong. I know it's going to be people that come and going to say, oh, I pray for you. And yes, those people are there. But I say time and time again, and we all see it over and over again, the internet is a cold, cold place. So the same way these people going to come to your comment or your situation and tell you to pray for you and God's got it and all this right here, it's going to be a whole group of people going to come who woke up and chose violence. And they're going to say the most mean, hurtful thing in the bottom of your post. And they're going to say things about you. And they're going to take your personal information. And they're going to twist it. They're going to throw it back at you. And they're going to do all of these ugly things. And people are going to do what they typically do. They're going to have an attitude. Mind your business. Stay out of my business. But you put your business out there. You put your business out there. See, this is the problem is a lot of y'all, we have these conversations or you do these things as if everybody thinks the way you think. And everybody don't think like you. Everybody don't process information the way you process information. So those lines that people used to not cross, people don't care about crossing them anymore. I remember there used to be a day and time when somebody would say something about their personal life and people would just smile and keep it pushing. Because they would have the thought process that ain't none of my business. I don't have nothing to say about that because that's none of my business. Now people feel like it's their business. But the person who told the story, they had no shame in telling it.
4 sons. Oh man, I can't join you. I can't join you.
I got 4 sons in prison. I didn't. Guess what? They work hard to get there.
And there seems to be a group of people out here who, anytime you call people out about behavior that should have been shameful, there's this group of people that will run to their defense. Leave them people alone. Let them people do and say what they want to do and say. No, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. You don't get to be or act a donkey and nobody says anything about it. That's not how that works. That's not life. People, even if you're doing something good, people are going to have something to say. So if you're doing something that's moronic or idiotic, people are going to have something to say. In the same way you have a right to be idiotic, they have a right to comment on said activities, especially when those activities are done in public or when those activities are done on your social media platform. People get to speak on it. I say stuff all the time and people come for me. They because they disagree and they say these ugly things in the comments and some people get upset. I don't get upset. I don't really care because 1, you don't know me for real. 2, your opinion is about me personally is hella irrelevant. And 3rd, I said it out, I put it out in public. So if I put it out in the public or I say it on a social platform, then the possibility that people don't agree with me exists. So I can't have an attitude because people disagree. Even if I come back at you and we go back and forth, I still don't have an attitude. What I'm really doing is pushing the algorithm. So you probably getting trolled or don't even realize it because I don't care enough about what a person who doesn't know me thinks about me. Now, I know you might hear that and you say, well, Lav, that's hypocritical because you're talking about we got to publicly shame people. I'm not talking about publicly shaming people for their opinions. I'm talking about publicly shaming people for behavior that should be shameful. That's what I'm talking about. But we don't do that. We make people that do shameful or say shameful, we make them famous. The Hot Tui girl. She's become a celebrity for talking about how good she go down on the dude. We made her a celebrity. I remember once upon a time, there was a lot of women wouldn't even own up to doing that. Now you just, yeah, you got the Hot Tui on that thing. And we elevated her. We put her on a pedestal. We have several videos and several accounts out there on social media where you have these people on the street, you know, they walk up and they ask people random questions. And people give some of the wildest, craziest answers. Now, on some level, some people say, well, this ain't real. These people, they just saying that to get clicks and views. And okay. I'll play that game with you. Let's say they are. Let's say when they give some of these wild answers that it is 100% strictly for the clicks and for the views. Why would you be the face of said thing, though? See, that's the problem. That you are willing for people to look at you a certain type of way and say the most craziest things simply to get views. So now people you walk down the street and people looking at you like, that's the dude who said, or that's the chick who said. And what happens is, if enough people do that, now you feel some type of way. Now you in your feelings. You walk around angry because you that person now. But you didn't care about that when you said this. You didn't care. Again, assuming that it's fake. You didn't care about this when person came and said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna ask you a question and I want you to say this. You didn't care about the outcome then. You didn't care about being shame about whatever you was saying, doing. You thought about, oh man, this is gonna blow up. Everybody gonna see this. That's all you cared about. Now you're upset, you're mad because you've become a pariah in society because you said X. I give you an example of what I'm talking about, real world example. I watched a video the other day, and this lady, she was talking about she had a OnlyFans page. And not only did she have an OnlyFans page, but she had an Instagram account. And on that Instagram account, of course, she did some risque stuff, not to the level of OnlyFans, but she did some risque stuff. And her son was coming home upset because his friend, well, the kids at school had found her page. And they was picking on him about that. Well, you know, that's what go along with that. If you got kids and you have no shame, but this is fallout from that. See, again, when we talk about shaming people don't think about the ramifications of their actions anymore. And that's part of the problem with no longer shaming people. And is she didn't think about how this affects her child because all she thinks is, I got to get this money. Well, you know what? If this was staying strictly on OnlyFans, then theoretically kids shouldn't be able to access OnlyFans and they wouldn't have seen it. But you ain't just on OnlyFans. You got to run coochie commercials. So you got to bust it wide open on Instagram. You got to let them know. You got to show your ass on TikTok because you need customers to say, ooh, I want to see more. So you got to run coochie commercials. But guess what? Your son, friends, and classmates are on Instagram. You don't have to be a certain age to be on there. But you didn't care about that. You didn't think about that. You don't care. And I know you don't care, even though I don't know you. And I know you don't care because you didn't stop doing it. You didn't shut down your accounts because the money is more important than how your son feel about this. The money is more important than your son getting ridiculed at school because you have no shame. You don't care because you found out that this is affecting your son. You found out that he's getting picked on. And this is where you at with it. And I know, you know, when I do these shows, part of the hypocrisy of it, or part of the goal in having these conversations is to have them from both perspectives, to see both sides of all of it, to see both ends of it. Because with her, I see it. If she a single mom and she was already doing semi-provocative stuff on her page, and you know, she's like, somebody was like, "Ooh, you should try OnlyFans," and she tried OnlyFans and she generated $3-4 grand one month. I can see how, you know, and then that 3-4 grand and went up, and now she making 6 figures every year. I can see how you not want to do it anymore. I mean, not want to stop doing it. I can see that. I 100% understand if you out here making it on your own and you ain't got no help. But if you found a way to generate $10,000 a month, I understand. I 100% understand. Where else she gonna make $10,000 a month? So, but within that understanding, what I also understand is what comes along with that. What goes along with you broadcasting that on the World Wide Web? You could be found, and not just by the people who gonna pay to see you, but you could be found by your son's classmates. That's the downside to that. But we have no shame anymore. We have people who will go into restaurants and do crazy stuff simply to get views and clicks. We got people who will go online and say crazy stuff simply to get views and clicks because they have no shame. So when did this start? Why is this happening? I think one of the reasons is the whole bully movement. We have this we're in the midst of, because we in the midst of this no bullying era. No bully. Don't bully people. Don't talk about people. So just like so many things in society, when we adjust, we overcorrect. And when it comes to bullying, I think we have overcorrected. Now, am I advocating for bullying? Of course not. I'm not advocating for bullying. But what I am advocating for is checking the hell out of people. If you show up looking like a fool, I think people are supposed to say something. I think they do. Because I think if you show up because you thinking you finna get attention, I think you should get the attention you craving. I do. Positive and negative. See, to me, that's not bullying, because you are looking for attention. You were looking for to elicit a response from people. Unfortunately, you're not getting the response you thought you were going to get. And that is one of the biggest miscalculations of a lot of y'all who push stuff into the lane of bullying. You do things thinking everybody's going to be on the same page with you. You do things with the ideal that, man, most people think like this. In reality, your thought process is in the minority. It's not in the majority. And now, because the majority have come for you, now you're feeling some type of way. See, again, to me, that's not bullying, because you asked for that attention. You wanted that attention. You just didn't want the type of attention that you get. So now what? Well, now what? If you overly vocal, it goes back to there was an old saying that the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So if you're loud and you're boisterous, you're going to get the oil. The oil is the attention. And it may be good attention and it may be bad attention. Who knows? But that's what happens when you are out here just being all unchecked. That is a thing about, we used to live in it used to be a day and time where people would regulate other people's behavior. But we enter into a phase where people have no shame. And if you have no shame, then let me tell you, and some of you, I know there are a large contingent of people out here who have this let people do what they want to do when they want to do it type energy and type vibe and mentality. See, all that sound good in theory until that do what you want to do show up to your doorstep. Let people live. See, that all sound good until it show up to your doorstep. See, you don't have a problem with the chick. I let that chick do her Instagram page and have her breast out and them tight little booty. What you worried about it for? I'm not worried about it. But again, this is what the podcast is about. It's about the hypocrisy. I don't have a problem with it. Let me tell you, the reality is I could play this game of life however y'all want to play. Want to be gangster, then we can do gangster stuff. Want to be conservative, we can do conservative. You want to do religion, we can do religious stuff. Want to be laid back, we can do. I don't care how we play it. Again, the podcast is birthed because of the fact that y'all are hypocrites. So let that woman live with these little skirts and what you worried about, what she doing on her Instagram. That's the stance that you take on Instagram. But when you at the restaurant and the chick sitting at the table next to you and your dude twerking and having fun with a girl, and you see a dude keep looking over there because she busting it wide open at the table next to you at Applebee's, now you got an attitude. Now you want her to cover up. Now you want her to stop shaking it. That's because it came to your front door now. You out with your grandbaby, your little grandson. He 5-6 years old. And she bending over and you can see everything every time she bend over because she got the little mini skirt on. Now you got an attitude because she bent it over in front of your little grandson. No, thought it was okay. When she was doing it online, you was good with that. Now all of a sudden you got a problem because it's at your front door. See, that's what y'all do. It's okay until it's your problem. As long as it ain't affecting you, let them people live. No. Either we're going to check them all the time or we ain't going to check them at all. We ain't going to check them when you uncomfortable. Just because now you in your feelings, now you want somebody to check somebody. No. I'm looking back on Instagram. You said let these people eat. So now, while you at the restaurant and your dude is looking at her camel toe, I wanted you to close your mouth, straighten your face, and let her eat. Because that's what you said on my post. See, that's the problem with not shaming people. Either we gonna shame them, and shaming is just another word for checking people. We don't check people no more. And we use the word shaming them, but the shaming has a negative connotation. But checking them takes away the negative connotation behind it, because some of y'all need to be checked. Just the reality of it. Some of y'all need to be checked. And it's not always sexual. You know, Monique had said something about chicks wearing the bonnets to the airport. That people was in an uproar, and people do what they do. When you check people or you say something about this behavior that should be shameful, what they do is they come for you. You say, hey, it's not proper. Don't wear the bonnets to the airport. That's not cool to wear bonnets and pajamas to the airport. Well, what about your hair? That's what people do. Instead of saying, dang, am I wrong? Should I not wear the bonnet? That's not what they say. The response is to attack you. Don't worry about my bonnet, ugly auntie. That's what people do. They attack you. And somehow you in the wrong for calling them out about being in the wrong. Pajamas are bedclothes. You wear them at nighttime where you just around the house kicking it before you go to bed, and once you get up out the bed. At no point in time was pajamas ever meant to be rocked on the flight to Cancun. But y'all do it. Y'all do it, and the response is, don't worry about me. This is my clothes. Mind your business. That is okay. Again, that all sound good until it reach your doorstep. See, because you don't have a problem with your Cookie Monster pajamas and your bonnet because it's you. And you think it ain't nothing wrong with that. But you got a big old booty. So your Cookie Monster's pants look like Cookie Monster is eating when you're walking. So it ain't just the Cookie Monster pants for some of y'all. But that's okay, because you have no shame. You have no pride in your appearance. You don't care how people perceive you. See, and here comes our friend hypocrisy again. You don't care how people perceive you until people perceive you in a way that you don't like. See, it's mind your business. That's because we the strangers. But when your kid go to school and people are picking on your kid about you being up there in the bonnet and the pajamas, now you want to fight the world. You mad. They bullying your kid. You upset. But you could have stopped this by simply not going to this school in this bonnet. You could have stopped this by simply just throwing on a baseball cap. Nobody said you got to do your hair. Throw on some jogging pants and a t-shirt instead of riding out in the pajama pants. But you didn't care at the time. But now they picking on your kid at school about it. Now it's at your doorstep. Again, it's at your doorstep. Now you got attitude. You mad at the world. Now you want to fight the world because your baby feeling some type of way. But who did this to your baby? Did the world do this to the baby? Or did you do this by making a conscious decision to go outside in a bonnet and your pajamas? But you didn't care at the time. But now you want everybody to care. That's what y'all do. When we talk about this checking people, you You want people to care when you want them to care. But you quick to say, I don't care. So if you don't care, why we got to care? Why we got to care about your child's feelings getting hurt? Why we got to care because somebody took a picture of you at the airport with your bonnet and your pajamas on, and then it went viral, and people smash you online, and now you home crying because they won't stop picking at you, won't leave you alone. You didn't care. When you left the house, somebody said, girl, you gonna wear your pajamas to the airport? I don't care. They're gonna be okay. That's what you said. And we all hear him say it. I don't care. You say it all the time. Now, when your feelings are hurt, or your kids' feelings are hurt, or somebody in your family's feelings are hurt, now you want people to care. See, that's the hypocrisy of it all. And too many of y'all got a who gonna check me boo mentality. You got a who gonna check me boo mentality. So you want to do what you want to do. Nobody can check you. Then when something happens online and everybody is checking you, or everybody seems to be checking you, now you got an attitude. Your feelings are hurt. But you the one out here felt like you was uncheckable. When the reality is, we all checkable. We all could get checked. How you feel about it once it happens, that's subjective. That's debatable. That goes back and forth. But everybody can get checked. It doesn't matter who you are. Anybody can get checked. But a lot of y'all don't feel that way. And I want us to get back to a day and time where it's okay to look at people and say, you dead ass wrong. That's where I want us to get back to. Get back to a day and time where we can look at somebody and say, you dead ass wrong for wearing them pants. You dead ass wrong for wearing that shirt. You dead ass wrong for having your kids out here looking like that. But we don't do it. We are in a space to where if you do check somebody, if you do shame them, people will come to you. Again, they're run to defend this crazy behavior. That's where we at. It is the most asinine thing I've ever heard and seen in my life. The fact that there's so many people willing to come and defend dysfunction. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. But so many of you do it. And it irks my soul to the highest of irkstivity is what it does. And so I don't get it. But hey, we ain't supposed to shame people. We ain't supposed to do that. And again, like I say, we talk about this from both sides of it. I get it. Some of you will take shaming people to another level. Some of you will take checking people to another level. I get it. That's how we get to the whole bullying piece. That's how we get to the whole bullying phenomenon, because some of y'all take it too far. You call yourself checking someone, but you're no longer checking them. Now you're ridiculing them. Now you've crossed over into belittling them. That's what y'all do. So it swings both ways. The pendulum definitely swings both ways, and we have to be definitely cognizant of the fact that we're not doing that. But oh boy, oh yeah, we got to be able to check people. If we don't check people and we don't say something, then I think we leave the door open for everything to just run amok. That's what we do. Now, I get it. The question becomes, who gets to check people? Who determines who's supposed to be checked and who don't supposed to be checked? Well, we do it like we've done so many other things in society. We collectively decide that. We collectively decide. And then some stuff people have made debatable that shouldn't be debatable. Like this, like whole wearing bonnets and pajamas out in public. That I don't even know why that's a conversation. You should not be wearing a bonnet and your pajamas to the grocery store with no bra. Why? Why are you doing it? You know you wrong. And you knew, I ain't telling you wrong. You know you wrong because you said it before you left the house. Girl, I'm out here looking a mess. So you know it. But you did it anyway. That's what we do. We let people get online and talk about, like I watched a video the other day, chick was talking about how she got 7 kids, about 7 different dudes, get $3,000 in food stamps. And she bragging. She was bragging like CB, like she doing it big. I mean, she talking about it like she had hit the lottery. 3,000 in food stamps every month, 7 babies by 7 different dudes, and says she love her life. That's what we at with it. That's what I'm talking about when I say people have no shame. Because that's not a flex. It's not cool. It's not hot. It's not smooth. Nothing. I put another video up. It was a dude who had 33 kids by 9 different women. 33 kids by 9 different women. And you know what some people in the comments were saying? Well, you can't determine what type of father he is. Come on. See, that's the stuff I'm talking about. That's not debatable. You're not a good father if you got 33 kids. You're not a good father to all of those kids. You might be a good father to 4 or 5 of them, maybe. But you're not a good father to 33 kids in 9 different households. You just aren't. It's just the reality of what it takes to be a parent. But we don't shame them. We not doing it. We did. That person is not Sean. Sean. It's Sean. I said Sean. Anyway, so yeah, we don't shame them anymore. We don't call them out. The chick with the food stamps, instead of checking her, y'all calling, asking her, do she want to sell some of them food stamps? That's how we get that. Yeah, you want to sell them food stamps? I give you. Come on. That's what we do. That's the hypocrisy of it all. Meanwhile, you hate the chick that ain't working, that ain't doing nothing, getting all this with it, because you ain't getting it and you busting your butt every day. You get up and go to work every day, 40, 50 hours a week to get your little paycheck and struggle to pay all your bills. And she ain't doing nothing but smashing and cashing out. You ain't happy about that. You know you're not happy about that. But you won't check her. You won't say nothing. You're still friends with her because you get to buy food stamps. That's the hypocrisy of it. You hate how she get down, but you love the fact that she sells you some of these food stamps. The hypocrisy of it all. I'll tell you the truth. Why? Humans are trash. It right itself. It's just I don't have to make up nothing. I just simply talk about our behavior patterns as humans. And it is all humans. And I've said it before and I will continuously repeat it. No group of humans cornered the market on treating other humans like trash. We all do it and have done it at some point in time to varying degrees. We all have done it. And we all do it. Different groups have done stuff to other groups at different times. It just is what it is. Because it's human nature to just be trashed towards other humans. I think one day we'll evolve to the point to where we're not that way. But right now we are that way. That is us. Us is who we are. And I don't get it. Sometimes I just don't get some of the stuff we do, because again, these are not even the things that are debatable. I get, like your relationship with your mom as a guy or chick. I get that that's debatable because we wasn't in your household. We don't know how your mama treated you. We don't know how your dad treated you. So nobody can come say, oh, you should have a great relationship with your mama. If you don't have a good relationship with your mama, then something wrong with you. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Your father was in the household. You should be happy if your father was in the household. Should you? Should you though? If he was a horrible, horrible father, should you be happy he was in the house? Or would he have served your family better not being there, period? Not blowing weed smoke in your face while you ate your cereal in the morning. I'm just saying. The hypocrisy of it all. So, hey, tell somebody that knows somebody about the podcast. Share it. Talk about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me how you feel, how you don't feel. Let's talk about it. Should we be checking people more often? Should we be shaming people? And if we start shaming people, is that going to help? Would it even help if we start shaming people more? If we start posting people like, yo, look at this clown. I don't think we would stop it. So I'm not looking to stop. Because if we could stop people from doing certain things, then there would be no need for prisons. There would be no need for insane asylums. I mean, so we're not going to be able to just stop a behavior pattern. But if we start shaming people, would we be able to greatly diminish or reduce some of the foolishness that we see? I mean, just pure, uncut, unadulterated foolishness. Would we be able to eliminate that? Let me know what y'all think. Hit me up in the comments. Also, subscribe to the channel. Is this your first time watching? Subscribe to the channel. And then send it to a friend.